Welcome everybody, and can I first say a massive thank you, because I think if you've come along to a talk at this time on a Saturday, you're a pretty special and, well, I would say probably pretty wonderful person, and I think maybe you probably already have been using your voice to stand up for all kinds of people, to stand up for the climate emergency, the ecological emergency, but thank you very much for coming. I'm going to try and make sure that I use my voice sort of as little as possible, really. I want to hear from all of you and give you a chance to use your voice in this session. But I suppose where I really wanted to start from is that I think the whole point of democracy is about everyone using their voice, having a say. And I'm really keen on politics being something that everyone does, not that everyone has done to them. So I think the whole point and how we can get anything done about whatever it is that concerns us in life, in the world, is by getting together with our friends, our colleagues, our neighbours, our family, and yeah, making the world a better place, doing the thing that we want to do. So I'd like to begin by you turning to someone who's sat close to you, next to you, maybe someone who you didn't come with, so turn the other way maybe from the person that you came with, and I'd like you to chat together about maybe something that you've got in your life that you wish everyone had, or maybe something that you've heard today that has really inspired you that you would really like to speak up about. So please chat with each other about what is it that you want to use your voice for? I just want to spend a little while just chatting about some different sort of examples, some types of using your voice that I've been involved with, and maybe to get your juices flowing a bit more. So first of all, there's using your money and your voice at the same time. So obviously we are all choosing every day what we buy, what we invest in. But there are times when we just don't have a choice. And I think that that is a really good opportunity to tell that company what you wish they were offering you instead. So obviously there's the potential of becoming a shareholder. For example, BP and Shell both have quite large activist groups of shareholders now that are attempting to influence what those big oil companies are doing. Greenpeace, for example, does a lot of work with doing petitions basically against companies, trying to encourage them, for example, to stop, hello, welcome, trying to stop them using palm oil, for example, in goods. So there's a lot of work, a lot of possibilities there. And I think it is useful to join in those email campaigns that I bet a lot of you have coming into your inbox. But I'm also quite aware of how it's really nice to actually talk to someone, to not just be a keyboard warrior. So I'd really encourage you when you to ask to speak to the manager at the supermarket and say what it is that you're concerned about, to get involved with a group of people who are seeking to change something at an AGM, for example. Another important thing is, I don't know how many of you are working, but obviously there's the opportunity to have a big influence at work with your colleagues. This is what professionally I have done a lot of, encouraging people to be sort of eco-champions within their work. I chose this image because it just feels like sort of recycling's being done to death. We've moved on to the next stage. And so I'm really interested in people telling the organisations they work for that there really needs to be a significant change of policy, of governance. For example, an organisation saying, right, we will not do internal flights anymore, we will not do short-haul flights, that kind of thing. I think it's that really big chunky stuff that's really worth going for. And there are a lot of sector-specific awards, like for example, hotels have got whole award schemes that people can encourage their employers to go in for. I think that's very important. And then I think it's important also to remember that we are also always starting at home. If there's something that you can't talk to your family about, that you care about, that you love, that you want to protect, that you want to create, I think that's really important to consider. Why is it that you find it difficult to talk to them, the most loved people in your life? And practice with them to see if that gives you a breakthrough to speaking to more people. And obviously then you go from there to your local Facebook groups or your neighbourhood WhatsApp or the Hereford Times letters page. There are lots of places to go on from, but I wonder whether sometimes actually starting at home can be a good place a safe place to start and to practice. And obviously what I am very interested in, you can influence families, we can seek to persuade the companies, the big organisations in our lives, but then there's also the politicians. So I think it is really important, obviously, to vote, but then that is just maybe once every 4 years in Herefordshire that you're voting for your Herefordshire councillor. In between times, there is so much to do. And obviously, I've begun with emailing them, but it's so much more interesting just to pick up the phone, and you can actually sometimes catch them on the phone. Your Herefordshire councillor, your MP, your parish councillors. I can highly recommend arranging to visit them, maybe as a group or just on your own, and speaking to them directly about what it is that you're worried about or what it is that you want to create. And then if you find a politician that you are really impressed with, help them. Offer your help. They'll always be ready. They'll always be wanting to ask for your help. I think that is a really important next step to take. And if there isn't a politician that you're impressed with, then make sure at the next election there is someone that you're impressed with standing. Ask someone to stand. If anyone has impressed you, ask them to stand. And I particularly put on the screen, ask her to stand, because we still don't have enough women in Westminster. We still don't have 50-50 women on Herefordshire Council either. And across the parish councils, we've only got about 40% women. So I think it's particularly important to ask her to stand. But obviously there are lots of people out there who would make brilliant politicians. And then the final point, really, consider standing. I think the fact that you're here shows that you care, that there are things that you're prepared to fight for. So I just encourage you all to think about it yourselves. The parish council, I know, needs you. And there's plenty of stuff to be getting on with. Obviously, this is where I'm at. I'm going to be standing in May in the Herefordshire Council elections in this ward here, which is called Hope End, that covers Colwall and Bosbury. I am deeply uncomfortable about it. I never thought I was going to be going into politics. It's just that this is what I'm called to do now, I suppose, really, to just really represent people and to move us forward and to really get really good action happening. As you said at the beginning, when, what are we all interested in making happen? What do we want to use our voice for? Where do we start? There is so much to be done. And so I just, on behalf of everyone living here, I want to be part of getting on with some good stuff. Now, I've noticed there are some things that often stop people using their voice. It can be pretty intimidating, feeling that you're standing up. It does feel like taking a risk. So there are some particular things about using your voice for environmental activism or social activism that I've really noticed. The first thing to say, absolutely, is that nobody is perfect. There's often this sense that if you're going to speak about climate change, you need to have already done everything, to have shrunk your carbon footprint to the smallest it possibly can. No one is that perfect person. We've all got to be able to speak from the imperfect place that each of us is in, I think. And just really, you are the only person who can say those words that are in your mind. What you have to say is really valuable. Trust what it is that you're outraged about. Trust what it is that you want to create. I think often a lot of environmental action has got stuck in what we're against, campaigning against things. What are we campaigning for? What is it that we want to create? I think that's really, really important. And I suppose maybe just a couple more things I'll say about that is, it's not about you, it's not about me. The whole point of standing up and having that courage is that you're standing up for others. So whether it's for me, for all the residents in Bosbury and Colwall, whether for you, you're standing up for the hedgehogs, or for the children that don't have a voice yet, or for the people who haven't been born yet, who certainly don't have a voice. It's standing up for others who don't have a voice. You can use your voice. You're in a privileged position, so use it for them. And it's not about you, it's not about me. And mistakes will be made, and keep on going. As I'm kind of coming back to the beginning, no one is perfect. Please just keep on going. I think we all now kind of need to be unstoppable with the scale of the challenges facing us. And know that you're not alone. So Colwall Greener is getting going, doing lots of brilliant things. I'd really like to hear from all of you about what are the things that you'd like to use your voice for that Colwall Greener can amplify. What are the groups of people that we can bring together? Because you are not on your own. If you're feeling excited about something or worried about something, hundreds, thousands, possibly millions of people are all thinking and feeling those exact same things. We are all unique, but we're also not that different. So please do know that you're not alone, and especially that Colwall Greener can really help. But thank you so much for your time, and please go out and use your voice.
Thank you very much.